Alright, how's everybody doing? This is the Comic Samurai. I want to welcome you to my next video, and tonight we're going to be doing another Let's Rank challenge. This is where we look at a run on a comic book series and assign each cover a letter grade from A to F. And then we pick our favorite and assign it the special S tier level ranking. Tonight we're going to be looking at Wolverine regular series from 1988, numbers 1 through 10. And I picked 10 of them because each one of these first 10 had a gallery picture on the back, a pinup page, and we're going to look at those after we look at the covers. So let's jump in with this number 1, done by John Buscema, and this is an iconic cover. I'm not going to say too much about it other than it's one of my favorites. I love everything about it. I really do like that cover, and it's an easy A. All right, moving on from that one, we've got number 2, and I did buy these when they were very new. I came into it at about issue 5 or 6, but this number 2 was one of my favorites. I loved the idea of the Silver Samurai and that red with the splattering there. I'd never seen like speckle work done on a cover like that before, and I liked Wolverine and his patch persona. This is a great cover. It's one of my favorites, and it's getting a B ranking from me. That's a fun one. What a great story this first introduction was also. Now, number 3 here did kind of miss the mark for me. I did like the idea of a sniper shooting Wolverine, but why was he wearing the Silver Samurai garb? And I didn't like that image of this girl there. I did like the flames up front and the coloring in the back. It did set a mood. But this one, and as far as just the first 10, this one's getting a D for me. It's not one of my favorites. Next up is number 4 here, and it introduced those 2 villains of Roughhouse and Bloodsport. Now, they were my 2 favorite Wolverine villains of the time. This is about where I jumped on board, and I couldn't believe the price tag of $1.50. That was a lot for me back then. But I really did like the introduction of those 2, and that Jessica Drew team up. It really was just an interesting dynamic there. I loved Wolverine wearing his eye patch. I liked his in the red jacket. This Buscema cover works for me. I love those 2 villains. They were fun. I'm giving this one an A. I really do like that. Next up is issue number 5, and I love this red background here. It's that jungle scene. Wolverine swinging in. You don't see him swinging on vines and ropes enough. You've got these kind of nameless thugs shooting at him here, but that Jeep zooming across that tree there, the detail that John Buscema chose to include with the dust getting kicked up from the wheels there, the motion lines. Oh, this is one of the most dynamic. I do like this one, and it scores a B for me. I like that. Next up, we got number 6, and this is one of the most underrated in the series, in my opinion. I love this cover with Roughhouse and Bloodsport there. Oh, look at how big he is, hovering over him. The size of his fists, they're bigger than Wolverine's head, and I like how he drew the claws where he's not making a fist. They draw him making a fist too much. I love it where his fingers are just open, and his claws are kind of an extension of that, and they spread wider at the tips there. It's those little details, and look at that glimmer mark on the claw there. I love this one. It works for me. This is one of my favorites. It's getting an easy A. Next up, we got number 7, and another underrated one here, back to back with Mr. Fix-It or the Gray Hulk. Oh, I love this one here. They've got that red spotlight, all these thugs coming to get him, and they're just both like, bring it on. Oh, these are the best of the best, and it's what they like to do. They like to scrap. This one wins for me. I love it. It's getting an A. Next up, we got this iconic cover of all the Wolverine issues of the first 10. This is probably the most well-known besides number 1, but man, look at that. It really does just exemplify the size difference between those 2. I love that Wolverine was a smaller character when he was introduced. Kind of an homage to that movie Twins with Schwarzenegger and DeVito. This is just one of my favorites. I really do like this image. It's getting a B from me. I like it. Next up, we got number 9. Now, this is probably my least favorite from the run. This is a Gene Colan cover here, and it didn't work for me. I don't like when clothing is drawn like that. And he has a thing where he draws hats like that. It just makes him look old-time farmerish. And I didn't like Wolverine's claws, the hand, his image, the red, the coloring. Nothing on this worked for me. I was disappointed when it came out, and it hasn't grown on me with time. I'm giving this one an F. Next up we got, and lastly, number 10. And this is a Bill Sienkiewicz cover. And again, I did not like this when it came out, and it hasn't grown on me. I'm not the biggest Sienkiewicz fan, Don't hold that against me, but I don't like the image. I didn't like his pointy cowboy boots. I don't like how Sabretooth was drawn with his hair. I didn't like him holding like some nameless, shapeless club. It just didn't make sense to me. I didn't like how the text was drawn, the crunches in the snow, the background of the trees. This is another one. I'm sorry, but I'm giving this one an F. All right, well, we've got them ranked here. Let's look at the ones in the A tier here, and we'll get our favorite of that group chosen. All right, we got number 1, number 6 with Roughhouse. Oh, Bloodsport. We got Mr. Fix-It. This is a hard one for me. If I only had to choose one, this is an instance where the first one was the best one. It is just so iconic. I love this image. When I was a kid, I couldn't get enough of it. It just captured my interest. This is the comic that sparked my love for Wolverine. Seeing him standing over all those thugs, it just pricked my interest, and I've liked him ever since. Well, that was fun. I'm going to go ahead and flip them, and we'll look at those back pinups. And just like that, we've returned. And this is the back cover for issue number 1, and what a way to kick it off. This image done by John Byrne is one of my favorites. I love how he plays with black and white, negative space, implied line, Wolverine smoking the cigarillo there with his claws up. I love this image here. It is an absolute icon, one of my favorites. I'd love to have this on a poster. This is an easy A, and it really set the tone for what I expected those back galleries to look like. Now, this one is the back of issue number 2, done by Bill Sienkiewicz, and it is one of my least favorite drawings of Wolverine I have ever seen. Those red boots I didn't like. I didn't like the build of him, the teeny little head, that hat. Nothing in this image works for me, and I'm confident when I give it an F. I do not like that image of Wolverine right there. Next up, we got a Kevin Nolan image. Now, this one I did like. It had a different style than I'd seen before. It was creepy. It was dark. Look at those black silhouettes there of the trees brooding over Wolverine's figure there. And what is he doing? Is he eating something? What an animalistic image. The only thing I didn't like is that pink area right here on his back. That was the one thing that didn't work for me, but I do like that image. I'm giving this one a B. Next up, we got the back for issue number 4, and this is a Barry Windsor Smith image, and I liked it. It looked like a piece of art. It was unlike anything I'd seen. It wasn't finished. It was almost abstract, but the way he did his sideburns and that hair, the coloring on it, this is a beautiful image. I love the purple. This is an easy A for me. I just can't say enough good things about it. Even looking at it now, it is mesmerizing. I mean, look at the way he drew his physique. I love this image, and it is really an easy A. Look at those two on the top there. What beautiful images. Now, this is a John Bolden cover on the back of issue number 5. I can't believe we're halfway done. This is another one that's one of my favorite images. Look at him street fighting there in the bar. These young punks trying to get the better of him. They don't know who they're messing with. And when you grab onto Wolverine, those bones of adamantium, it's like they had to feel it like there is no give, and the weight to him. When he throws a punch, that's a metal punch you're hitting. Talk about brass knuckles. Oh man, I love this image. John Bolton, one of my favorites. This is another easy A. All right, we're on to number 6, and this is a McFarlane image, and it really did change how I thought Wolverine could be drawn. A close-up of his face. Finally, you get to see how his hair worked and the way he did the texture on it. His scowling eyebrows and the blood coming out of his mouth. He's smoking a cigarette, and look at how much work he put into the detail of that smoke. This is how Todd McFarlane should draw every image that he does. I love it. I loved his signature. I used to look at this image all the time just for inspiration and tricks to use. Look at how he cut into that jaw and his staring blue eyes. I love this image. I can't say it enough. This is another easy A. Oh, I loved it. Even how he drew the eyebrows on that one. All right, now issue number 7 did not have a gallery on the back. It was just an ad, so we're not going to include that one in this series. Who should follow McFarlane but Rob Liefeld? And again, it was an image of Wolverine that I had never seen the likes of before. Look at those arching legs, the way he's holding his claws, the thickness to him there, how the shadow is bent, and all those swords with the reflections at the top, this black background, everything works on this one. I love it, but do I love it as much as the other A's? I don't. It was interesting, and it's still a great image, so it's getting a B from me. Oh, in good company with Kevin Nolan. All right, Kieran Dwyer did the image on this issue number 9, and let's have a look at it. Yeah, this one doesn't snag me as a good image. I don't like the colors. I don't like how the yellow that he was wearing, his shirt's in a rag. I don't like the light. It's too messy. It's just to come off of these ones and hit this one, man, it's close to a fail. I'm sorry. This one's getting an F. You just can't be in the running. I mean, by itself, it might get a D or a C, but compared to these other beauties, it's a fail. I'm sorry. All right. Last up was issue number 10, and this has got an image done by Kent Williams. Now, he did some of the art in that Havoc and Wolverine Meltdown series, I'm pretty sure. I recognize this style here, and I didn't like it. It hasn't really grown on me. I have to say that this one rates pretty low. I do like his shadow there, and I do kind of like the perspective. I liked what they were trying to do with his hair, but it didn't work. I'm giving this one a D. All right, well, let's go ahead and look at all these ones in the A tier, and we'll decide on the best Wolverine gallery image. Oh, this is going to be so hard. John Byrne, Barry Windsor-Smith, John Bolton, and Todd McFarlane. I mean, those are some of the greats just in comic book artists. I mean, they'll all go down in history. Well, which one of these 4 images do I like the best? All right, that's probably my least favorite. Barry Windsor-Smith, McFarlane, John Byrne. Oh, I like him smoking here, but look at how they colored that. All right, what about between this one and this one? Oh, okay, is it going to be Byrne or is it no? I used to love this comic book so much. I looked at this image. It was the first one where I said, who is that artist? And it was Todd McFarlane. I started falling in love with his style right here. I really like the image of Wolverine. It captures the essence of that character. I'd still draw my cigarettes like that. A Todd McFarlane cigarette. Oh, what a great image. It is one of my favorites of all time. But all of those in the A tier are just amazing for me. So that was a fun little run. Let me know what other ones you'd like me to take a look at. Thanks for joining me and have a great night.